As for the Republicans on Capitol Hill, think about it for a moment. Take a lesson from the Democrats. They never break ranks. Think about what you Republicans accomplished by supporting the president during the confirmation fight of Brett Kavanaugh. When things got tough, when the media were piling on, Republicans stood firm. Do it again here. The Democrats are desperate to divide and conquer the GOP. Don't let them. Well, that was my message to the GOP on Monday. Stay unified on issues of really big import to the country, and great results are going to follow. Well, despite reports to the contrary, President Trump earlier today brushed off concerns that the GOP unity was cracking.
The Republicans are unified. We want border security. We want safety for our country.
Well, still, there are some, like Congressman Adam Kinzinger, showing signs of, well, weakness.
If it is, again, if it's an agreeable bill, agreeable appropriations, I'll reopen as much government as we can. This is like a super easy issue to solve, and this is what just frustrates me out here is we can all solve this, and it's like an 80% agreement when we're done. It's just nobody wants to give anybody a win or anything else. We got to get past that, or we're going to continue in this stupid shutdown idiocy cycle.
Here to tell us where his caucus actually stands, the man in charge of the GOP vote, House Minority Whip Steve Scalise. Congressman Scalise, even after this speech that was so well received, is the president really facing defections among Republicans?
Laura, not really. I mean, frankly, what you're seeing is a growingly unified conference. Vice President Pence came last night to speak to our members and really gave a very passionate plea about what this is all about. And then, of course, you saw the president
what is
on
Adam
TV last night.
Talking about? I mean, he joined 7 other Republicans today to vote for partially funding the government, a financial services appropriations bill. So Adam Kinzinger is, you know, he's kind of tweaked the president on a number of issues, Syria and other things.
Well, but keep in mind, the media was reporting before that vote that there were going to be 25 Republican defections. Go read the Politico article. I'm the Republican vote counter. We were never anywhere close to that. And sure enough, you know, we thought maybe a dozen or less. We ended up with 8. So when they reported 25 and there ended up being 8, I'm sure there are going to be a lot of reports tomorrow saying that they were wrong. In the end, the president laid out, I think, a very passionate article and plea yesterday about why we're in this
Let's talk
fight.
about today. We had a meeting today that you were at with the president, and Chuck Schumer comes on TV and said the president, it's his favorite word, tantrum. I always say that's like psychological projection because last night
nobody's had more tantrums than Chuck Schumer. Watching he and Nancy Pelosi last night, the Green Acres segment that they gave, in the end, they had no rebuttal to what the president said is a crisis at the border. And so when you see Nancy Pelosi, and I've been in these meetings now, this is the 3rd meeting we've had in the last week. And Nancy Pelosi will start off by saying, I'm for border security. And the president will say, OK, how can you say you're for border security? I need funding for border security. And she will not agree to a dime. And so last week, the only time she's ever put an alternative on the table was when last week she jokingly, Laura, said she'd support $1. Now, any American out there, no matter what side of this debate you're on regarding immigration, if you really think $1 is a serious argument and proposal, this is a serious, we're in a serious negotiation. Yeah. The president said the experts have told me it's going to take $5.6 billion to secure the American border. What's your alternative? And she says $1.
Kamala Harris from tonight, we have a soundbite for her. This is how the left is demagoguing this issue.
Then you start talking about, well, African Americans and Latinos don't want this stuff happening. I mean, what was that supposed to be about? Tell me that. If not about inserting race in a way that was intended to create fear and division.
Your thoughts, Sarah?
Well, the fear and division is coming from people who are tired of seeing the drugs pour across our border. You know, Officer Singh's family. There are so many people like that. And I've seen story after story. Colleagues of mine who have shared stories with me about deaths that have happened in their districts from people who crossed here illegally. Look, every year we bring in over 1 million people into our country legally to seek the American dream. It's the people that are coming across the border illegally that are here to do bad things, drug dealers, terrorists, last year, ICE agents saved over 900 children from human trafficking. What are they going to say to those 900 kids? Are they okay with that?
The president
Laura?
signed legislation today, anti-human trafficking legislation. I don't know if it got any publicity. I don't know if it was covered at all on the networks. If it was, I missed it. But it was probably like a reader.
This president's done more to try to stem some of the tide of the bad things that are coming across our border, from drugs to human trafficking to sexual assaults. Look at the numbers. Over 30% of all the women in the caravan have been sexually assaulted.
What are the feminists?
On their way over.
They're going to say
why don't they care about that?
Yeah, well, because it's not real.
Right.
The hand on their.
And by the way, Chuck Schumer voted for a similar wall in 2006.
No. Well,
where is their indignation on all of this?
Was the president petulant today?
The president never banged his head. He was very calm. He was trying to get a solution. Nancy Pelosi never once has put an alternative on the table, not once. And he looked at her and said, OK, you keep saying you want to open the government up again. What if I open it up for the next 30 days? At the end of 30 days, will you support the wall? Without even blinking, she said no. And he said, OK, well, we're not getting anywhere.
Yeah, the president tweeted, Negotiations 101. The best deals you can make are the ones you walk away from and then get them with better terms. Tweet today. Congressman, thank you so much. Great to see you, as always. The president's trip to the border tomorrow is about more than a wall. He's going to be highlighting the communities most adversely affected by the surge of illegal immigration, communities that are changing before our very eyes. Here now, Lieutenant Governor of Texas, a man who the president has leaned on just ahead of last night's speech, Dan Patrick, who met with the president yesterday. Dan, thanks for being here. Do we have a crisis at our southern border, and is a wall necessary in your view?
It's not a manufactured crisis. It's a manufactured cover-up. And I'm sick and tired of it, Laura. I was in the White House yesterday. I actually didn't see the president. I was working with his team before. I'll see him tomorrow. But it's a manufactured cover-up. The mainstream media, MSNBC, CNN, the print media, and the Democrats are in one of two groups. They're deniers or they're deceivers. The deniers won't accept the truth, or they're quite frankly not smart enough to figure it out. The deceivers know the truth, and they're lying to the American people. The American people have to understand that the illegal immigrants in this country today, by my own calculations and the Yale study of September 21st of last year, says there are 25 to 35 million people in this country. The low number could be 17. The high number could be 35. Let's call it in the middle, 25. That's 7 to 8% of the entire American population is here illegally, Laura. And the reason the deceivers, the Democrats and the mainstream media have this manufactured cover-up is because they want another 10, 15, 20 million to continue to pour in to where they turn those into votes one day, and they control the country, and they move our country to the left. I have seen it, Laura, firsthand. In Texas, 200,000 illegal immigrants arrested, charged with over 700,000 crimes. We have 100,000 gang members in Texas. We caught 94.5 pounds of fentanyl, our state troopers, last year, and that works out to 21 million doses on the street. We have an opioid crisis.
Deadly.
This is a real crisis, and the American people better wake up that they're being lied to by the mainstream media and the Democrats.
I want to talk about McAllen, Texas in particular, the Rio Grande Valley, that vast sector you know, we have like 6 border stations there. McAllen's been upgraded, a nice facility. But you got a vast territory. That's the growing Hispanic population in McAllen. You see the statistics there. It's gone up somewhat, not that much. But the more interesting thing is there's McAllen right at the border. How does this affect crime in the area? But just in the last couple of months, we've seen some pretty devastating criminal activity.
Yeah, MS-13, continued criminal activity. Although, Laura, here's what's interesting. Because we have in the state of Texas, along with the U.S. government, such a border presence there, crime is actually down over that area. In fact, I was in La Jolla, Texas, a couple of years ago. And La Jolla is west of McAllen, where the current fence, we have 54 miles of fence along that area, where it ends. And this Democrat mayor said to me, please extend the fence. Why? Because the fence was keeping people out. They came around it into his community. We need fences, Laura, or a wall. Call it what you want. We need barriers to keep people out from Brownsville to something called Falcon Lake. That's the main area where more than half of the people come into this entire country. Last year, over 500,000 people crossed the border illegally between San Diego and Brownsville, about 300,000 in Texas. Now, law enforcement will tell you we get 1 out of 4 or 5. If we caught 500,000 just last year, that means somewhere between 1 million, 1.5 million, and 2 million were not
a crisis.
Caught. Yeah, it is
not a crisis.
It is a crisis beyond imagination, and we're losing our country. In Texas alone, Laura, we have 5 million kids in public school. 1 in 5 are not proficient or don't speak English at all. The cost to the American taxpayer for education in this country, the cost to the American taxpayer for health care in this country. And I hear this about, you know, not all are criminals, many are good people. We cannot afford to educate, medicate, and incarcerate the whole world.
All right. Dan Patrick, thank you so much for the update from McAllen tomorrow.
Hi, everyone. My name's Mike. I'm the creator of Mox News. And for the last 15 years, I have been telling you that as long as I have the support of the community that I serve, Mox News will post videos forever. And that's the truth. As long as I have your support, no one could ever make me stop. Unfortunately, currently, less than 1/2 of 1/10 of 1% of Mox News viewers ever donate, tip, or contribute anything back. Again, let me make that really clear. Much less than 1/2 of 1/10 of 1% ever give anything back. And to those of you who have donated to Mox News, I want to thank you so much, because it's because of your generosity that we have been able to bring attention to important videos that millions and millions of eyes would have never seen. And I think that that's an amazing thing that we've been able to make happen together. And I can't thank you enough for helping me make that happen. So it's not too late. If you'd like to see Mox News covering the 2020 presidential election, if you can't imagine the 2020 presidential election without Mox News, please, there's still time. You can make a difference. It's easy to make a contribution, donation, or tip. You can go to moxnews.com, or in the text body of this video, there are clickable links to the Patreon page or to the PayPal page. And again, it should take less than 2 minutes to make a donation, and your donation can make a big difference. So I thank you all. Stay cool. One of these days this war is going to end, and it would be awesome if Mox News could be there to celebrate that day with you.